All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're breaking down an internship that's, well, a whole lot more than just another line on your resume. This is the DEVCON Jumpstart Internship, and it's designed from the ground up to be a real launchpad for your tech career. We're going to explore how it works, what you actually get to build, and what makes it so different from the rest.
But before we dive into all the nuts and bolts, I want you to just take in this quote from Ivy, a former intern. She said, "I walked in asking, why me? I walked out thinking, why not me?" Wow, that pretty much perfectly frames the whole experience, right? It's not just about learning skills, it's a journey that builds your confidence and helps you see your own potential.
So to really get what this internship is all about, you first have to understand the organization behind it. Because you're not just signing up for a temporary job, you're becoming part of a community with a really big mission.
So, who is DEVCON? Well, it's the largest volunteer community of developers in the entire Philippines. It's a nonprofit, and its mission is huge: to create a tech-empowered nation for everyone. And this isn't some new thing. They've engaged with over 60,000 participants since 2009. So, an internship here means you're not just coding away in a corner. You are directly plugging into this massive national vision.
Now, that mission-driven vibe totally shapes their unique culture. DEVCON does not operate like your typical 9-to-5 office, and that is completely on purpose. They've built everything around what they call an async first philosophy.
So what does that actually mean for you, the intern? Well, think about a typical internship. It's often time-based, right? Full of meetings, just to prove you're working. DEVCON flips that whole script. It's fully output-based and async first. Success isn't about how many hours you're online. It's all about the measurable results you deliver. Period.
And at the absolute heart of their model is this concept they call proof of work. Every single task you do is measured by something tangible you can show for it. We're talking links, screenshots, demos, and documentation. In their world, a task isn't done just because you say it is. Nope, it's only done when you've provided the proof. And the best part? It means you're constantly building a real portfolio you can actually show off.
Okay, so to make a system like this actually work, you've got to build some key habits. First, over-communication is everything. You provide detailed written updates so projects keep moving forward without needing a meeting. Second, Notion is your Bible. It is the single source of truth for everything. And third, if you have a question, you ask it in writing first. You save the actual calls for the really complex, knotty problems.
They've also got this really smart framework to keep projects from going off the rails, the 30-60-90 rule. Here's how it works. At 30% done, you have a checkpoint to make sure you're heading in the right direction. At 60%, you get feedback to help you refine your work. And at 90%, it's the final review. This structure is amazing because it prevents you from wasting tons of time going down the wrong path.
Okay, now for the part you've probably been waiting for. What do you actually build? This is where everything shifts from theory to practice, where you get to own real-world projects that have a real, tangible impact. For instance, let's look at the AI and robotics track. Here, interns get their hands on some seriously cutting-edge tech, the kind of stuff you probably won't find in a standard university class. It's all about bridging that gap between what you learn in a textbook and what's actually happening in the industry right now. And this isn't just theory. For example, one intern, David, built a production-ready RAG chatbot. Listen to what he said.
As an aspiring AI engineer, the work allows me to connect my career goals with real-world applications.
See? This isn't just a homework assignment, it's a functional, high-level tool that proves he has serious skills.
And you see that same story playing out in the product design track. The whole focus here is on creating digital experiences that directly serve the massive DEVCON community. We're talking high-visibility, high-impact work from day one.
I mean, check this out. Intern Jasmine Ivy worked on the main DEVCON PH homepage. Here's what she said. It was one of my first experiences contributing to a real organization's digital presence, which makes it feel impactful. Can you imagine that? As an intern, having your work seen by thousands of people? That's the real deal.
And that feeling of making an impact, it runs right through the project management track too. This isn't just about making charts and hitting deadlines. Here, your organizational skills get applied to social impact projects like DEVCON Kids, which is all about inspiring that next generation of tech talent. Take Marco, an intern from this track. He worked on content for these little microbit projects for kids. And his takeaway? Seeing the microbit projects help kids learn and get excited about tech was very rewarding. That just shows you the work isn't just technical, it's truly meaningful.
So you do all this incredible work. You build these amazing projects. But then what? How do you actually show it off to future employers? This is where DEVCON takes things a step further. They don't just help you do the work. They teach you how to present it in a way that gets you hired.
They call it impact storytelling. And trust me, it's a total game changer. It's a method for framing your work by focusing on the value you created, not just the tasks you checked off a to-do list. At its core is the STAR method. You describe the situation, the task, the action you took, and most importantly, the result of your work.
And here's why that is so important. On a typical resume, you might just write, built a microbit project. Okay, fine. But using impact storytelling, you transform that into something powerful, like this. Developed an interactive microbit learning module used by over 50 students in DEVCON Kids, reducing the technical barrier for beginners. See the difference? It's night and day.
So when you put all these pieces together, the mission-driven culture, the output-based work, the real-world projects, and the skills to talk about it all, you start to see why this program isn't just an internship. It really is a career launchpad.
Let's circle back to Jasmina Ivy one more time because she just nails the whole philosophy here. She said, it's how much DEVCON focuses on you. They don't just give you tasks to finish. They actually want you to grow, to explore, and to see the bigger picture. That focus on mentorship and personal growth, that's what really sets this all apart.
So, if you're thinking, hey, this sounds like me, what does it actually take to succeed here? Well, the alumni has some pretty clear advice. You have to embrace the learn-by-doing culture. Document everything as you go. That's your future portfolio. Never ever be afraid to ask questions. And finally, treat every single task, no matter how small it seems, as a chance to learn something new.
And that really brings us to the final question, doesn't it? This internship is about execution, about ownership, and about delivering work that has a real impact. It is a challenge, for sure, but for the right person, it could be a career-defining opportunity. So, the only question left is, do you have what it takes?